Hey everyone, it's Taikxo from Deviantart, and about a month ago, I asked what you guys wanted to know from me. I was going to have a Q&A video, and a month and a half later, I'm finally getting around to doing it, so I apologize. But here are my questions. Danny K118 asks, I make most of my amigurumis with a G or an F hook. What size hook do you use most and why? I've kind of been bouncing back and forth lately. Normally I use a 5.5 hook, which I think is an I9, because I can get a perfect like in an inch by inch square. I can get 3 stitches by 3 stitches. I've loosened up quite a bit, and it used to be 4 by 4. But in my head, when I'm designing things, I use 4s and 6s to make perfect shapes, and so that's why I use that hook. Disney Star 12 asks if I got any photos of me cosplaying at Disneyland. No, I did not. It was a casual Roxas cosplay, so no pictures. Scarlet Piano Wires asks if I ever set up my Tumblr account. No, I did not. I apologize, but I did not. Discfire asks what inspired me to begin crocheting. If I remember right, back in about, it was 9 years ago, I think, I was searching on the internet for Pokemon plushies, and I found these amigurumi, or I couldn't pronounce them correctly at that point in time, but I had seen a Togepi plush, and that went, I want to learn to make this. And so from about the time that I was 10 to 13, I struggled to learn how to crochet in those 3 years, but it was Pokemon. Where and how, Zkayags? Can't pronounce your name, it's weird, but I love it. Where and how did I learn to crochet, and how long have I been crocheting? Any tips for other crocheters? Like I said, back 9 years ago, I started learning the basics, but I didn't really learn how to do everything until I was about 13. And I learned to crochet from some old lady friends of mine. I used to go to my church's humanitarian project. Like, we would make quilts and all this other stuff, and I first learned how to do hat looms, and that kind of got me started on artisan stuff. And so I went from quilt tying to looming to crocheting to sewing, and now I'm just barely picking up knitting. Any tips for other crocheters? Do what you love, one would think. And have a lot of materials, because it's like heroin, you need a lot. I don't condone drug use, don't hold me to that. One Lone Tree asks, how do people see you where I live? Do they see me as you, or that kid that cosplays and crochets, or as an outsider? Long involved answer is long and involved. I'm not very well, there's 2 ways to answer that question. In my community, like, I'm pretty well received. I'm seen as that kid that has a lot of amazing talents, but sure, he does some weird things, but he can do a lot of really cool things. In my church community, however, I am perceived as something I'm not, and so because of that, there's a lot of people that hate me. But then on the flip side, there's people that know that someone spread some lies around about me, and the people that did believe those lies hate me, and the people that don't believe those lies love me, so whatever. Cute530 asked, what are your favorite kinds of things to make when you crochet? Like, do you prefer to make things of practicality, like scarves or hoodies, or aesthetics, like plushies that are made for the sake of a plushie? Yes. I absolutely love making scarves, I love making hoodies, I love making things that you can wear, but then on the flip side, like, if I want to make myself a life-size Charizard plushie, then I'm gonna do that because I want it. But my favorite things to do are a meeting of the two. I have a Pikachu plush scarf that I'm working on right now, and I'm pretty excited to get that done. So it depends on what day and what's going on. Bombifish asks, when and how did I get into Pokemon, and why am I so amazing? Oh, that's 2 questions. I got into Pokemon when I was 9, I think. My dad would would go to Fry's Electronics a lot, and he would spend hours there. And at first I thought Pokemon was really stupid. I hated Pokemon. Oh, pants. My lights just turned off. Fun times. Anyway, he would go to Fry's Electronics and spend hours there. So I would go over to the games, and they had Pokemon Coliseum on demo there. So just after it came out, I spent a good 3 hours playing that game and went, stuff is amazing, I need more of it. Kurodo asks if I'm being truthful, because obviously you could just deny a question if you didn't want to answer it. Boy, you question me? You really question me? Dear Angel Tori asks a couple of questions here, actually. What is something I've always wanted to make, be it crocheted or another type of art that I've never had the time, or that I don't know how to do, or I've never had the time, and that you've never been... What do I want to make? Crochet-wise, I have a goal of making a life-size Suicune. Knitting-wise, I want to make a double-breasted, fold-over, I forget what they're called, but they're kind of vests. Sewing, I think maybe a Terra cosplay. That would be quite exciting for me. Do I think learning how to crochet is a beneficial skill, and is it something you hope will be passed on for future generations to come? How can we make sure it's passed on that others find it beneficial? Well, personally, me being an artisan, I find any kind of art to be essential to life. I mean, because let's face it, if we had black and white everything, it would be pretty boring. I think that finding a way to make it unique or make it your own is the way that we're going to be able to pass this on to our future generations. I personally didn't have a need for crocheting until I found out that, hey, you can make plushies with this. Not only can you make plushies with this, you can make clothes with this. And so I personally had to find a reason to want to make these, and so, or to learn any kind of art. And so you need to find some way to make someone interested with it. Moonbearer asks, what is my dream? My dream is for eternal prosperity. I wish that everyone was equal, because there's inequality among many people. And if we're all on the same plane, there's no need to judge, there's no need to hate. And I would also like to swim in a vat of chocolate. Yes. What is my favorite pastry? I think Yule logs? Yule logs are very nice. And if I were a superhero, what power would I wield? Oh, goodness. I think I would like transformation, because I could be like, hey, I'm a monkey right now. And then 2 seconds later, I could be like, hey, now I'm a chameleon. Irony. Light Crush starts spouting some fun FAQ questions at me, and then she says, there's anything in the world, be it reality or make-believe, or if you could be anything in the world, reality or make-believe, what would it be? I want to be a Pokemon master. Anyway, I'm sorry for how long this has taken. I have been very herp-derp with getting my YouTube account working and getting all of this stuff. Sorry the video's long. Johnny!